fanatical, aren't you? We're gonna shut down your torture chambers. We're gonna kick you out of Nablus.
You really believe the people who say they're pro-Jewish but anti-Israel? Do you believe them? Do you believe Ahmadinejad? Would you believe Louis Farrakhan if he told you that? Do you honestly believe that people who hate Israel don't hate Jews?
If they criticize Israel, they're called anti-Semites. And I think because of the Holocaust, that is, nobody wants to be called that. It's a very powerful silencer.
I was born 10 years after the war. I've grown up with Holocaust survivors, with people who had
My parents are Holocaust
I know what
survivors.
happened there.
I lost 60 members in my family.
Okay.
So stop lying.
Yeah, so I have
Stop
documentations.
lying.
We have the books.
On the substance. If you can't defeat somebody's arguments with facts and logic, then you have to sort of reach for the mud.
Like I mentioned, the mainstream press, I mean, it's very one-sided, and you're not going to hear anything on the Hill or in
They're all
DC.
wrong, and they're just waiting.
And even there, the debate is being stifled.
First of all, the United States supports Israel and has supported Israel both in a material sense and in a diplomatic sense in ways that no other great power has supported a smaller power in the world.
Out of the United States foreign aid budget collected from federal taxes, the average sent to Israel has been $3 billion a year. The vast majority of this aid comes in the form of military financing. These funds account for 20% of Israel's total military budget, with nearly 70% of it being contracted back to U.S. weapons manufacturers. Corporations such as Boeing, Raytheon, Lockheed Martin, and others receive huge military contracts every year and are paid for indirectly with American taxpayer dollars.
If you go back to World War II and you fast forward to the present, what you discover is that we have given more foreign aid to Israel than to any other country in the world. And this despite the fact that Israel is not a poor country like Bangladesh or Angola. And in fact, today it's a well-developed country. It has a burgeoning economy and it's doing very well for itself. It's not the kind of candidate for foreign aid that you might think.
Israel comprises of 0.001% of the global population, yet receives 20% of the U.S. foreign aid budget annually. This financial and diplomatic support also shows the investment that the U.S. has in Israel and illuminates the inextricable link of our shared futures as countries and allies. Given this bond, one must then ask, what is so unique about Israel that lends it so much special treatment?
The reason Israel needs military aid is because unless Israel is qualitatively superior to all the combined Arab armies, there would be another war. The only guarantee of peace in the Middle East is if Israel is able to qualitatively defeat in military battle all the combined Arab and Muslim armies in that area, which is why the Iranian nuclear threat is so great a threat to stability and peace.
Many people argue that there's not really a good strategic case to be made for the relationship. But the basis of the case is really a moral one. It has to do with the fact, for example, that Israel is the only democracy in the Middle East, or it has to do with the fact that Israel is a David surrounded by an Arab Goliath.
There's a responsibility to Israel insofar as there is a responsibility to really any other country that would promote and support the same values as the United States. And I think that having that ally in the Middle East as the sole democracy, as a country that has been surrounded by neighbors that have been less than friendly.
The Arabs historically have wanted to wipe us out and throw us into the sea. Who started the war in 1948? Not us. It was hostile Arab armies and Arab countries, time and time again, Do you want Iran to have a nuclear bomb? Do you know the first people they use it on will be Israel? Now, they claim Israel has nuclear bombs too. Do you believe that Israel is going to push that button first? You just have to ask yourself these honest questions.
Well, I think there's, you know, over the years, especially since World War II, there's been a sympathy for Jewish victims of the Holocaust, and I think that's been used to a certain degree to be translated into support for Israel. Where if it's being implied that you found it acceptable, that's just horrible. That's terrible, you know. And it's a normal human reaction to say, no, I'm not, you know, and I don't want to be perceived that way. So I think it is, yeah. But that is not to say that it didn't happen, that it wasn't terrible. Let me make all these disclaimers. I mean, you know, I think to have to reiterate that every time, that you're against the Holocaust, that you're against what happened, it's, you know, you spend all your time doing that and then you don't get onto the real issues. And I just think most people are terribly against what happened in World War II.
I mean, it's just sort of conflicting narratives. You're right. Like people, Jews have been growing up thinking the Holocaust was the real driver of everything and blah, 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 which is totally legit. And Palestinians go back thinking that their Holocaust was 1948. So what, I don't know how to, you know, to reconcile that. I don't know if you have to.